Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Universally Speaking, and this week, as always, right before the pay-per-view event, we will be looking through the match card for the Survivor Series show. But first, we have to take care of some business and have a look at a very special battle royal that emanated from Madison Square Garden this week as part of the WWE Super Show. It was made official by Edge on SmackDown Live last week that the winner of this battle royal would get a number one contenders match at the Survivor Series pay-per-view against the impressive Australian Emma. The battle royal consisted of 6 women: Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Natalya, and Tamina. These 6 women battled on, but it then came down to just 2. And to say it got tense is an understatement. Sasha Banks and Bayley were the last 2 women standing, and both seemed apprehensive about competing against each other, but it was Sasha Banks who threw the first punch, but Bayley who had the last laugh. Bayley was able to eliminate Banks and move on to the Survivor Series to face Emma for the number one contendership. Charlotte will be no doubt paying close attention to this blockbuster match, as we can announce right here, right now, that Emma will in fact face Bayley at Survivor Series, and the winner will move on to WWE Vengeance to face Charlotte in what promises to be an intense encounter. We move our attention to some more Survivor Series now, and we'll take a look at the first match of the evening, which will of course be the bookend to the bitter rivalry between Sami Zayn and Ryan Lusk. Both men have a score to settle, and neither man will be taking a backward step. It all began when Ryan Lusk turned his back on Sami Zayn during their title defense against the Revival, and from there it has gotten out of control. But it all comes to a head at Survivor Series, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, this match will kick off the show. The next match we'll take a look at is the highly anticipated second encounter between Roman Reigns and Bobby Roode. Both men have engaged in a war of words over the last couple of weeks, and Bobby Roode has been determined to prove to the world that he can beat Roman Reigns on pay-per-view, and he wants to prove to himself that he can do it as well. Will Roode be able to conquer Reigns, who has a near-perfect record on pay-per-view? We'll have to wait and see. We now get to the first of 3 title matches on this stacked card, where the Revival will defend their titles against Akam and Razor of the Authors of Pain. The 2 monsters, Akam and Razor, of course, have won their way through to this match via the highly competitive number one contenders tournament that has ensued on both Raw and SmackDown all month. However, the final was very controversial, with the Lone Warriors busting the match apart and attacking Akam and Razor, causing DIY to be disqualified, even though it was Akam and Razor that were the victims of the initial attack. So it isn't without its controversy, but this match won't be without its hard-hitting nature either when these 2 teams collide for the prestigious Tag Team Championships. And while we're on the subject of Tag Team Wrestling, we have another huge tag team match on this amazing card that will pit the Club, Gallows and Anderson, against AJ Styles and, as he puts it, a friend. So Gallows and Anderson will be in the dark about who they're facing up until that man walks through the curtain. But one thing is for certain, it's got combustible written all over it. We now reach the first of two monumental World Championship matches, the first of which is between Bray Wyatt and champion Samoa Joe. The back and forth between these two men has been odd, to say the very least. Bray Wyatt set the wheels in motion by attacking Samoa Joe at the close of the last pay-per-view event No Mercy, and since then, Wyatt has played mind games constantly with the champion. Wyatt is renowned for getting inside people's psyche and trying to win his matches that way, but Samoa Joe certainly hasn't given in to the ways of the Wyatt and attacked him at the compound where Wyatt resides. So this match is high stakes and high intensity. And ladies and gentlemen, it promises to be high physicality as well. Can Wyatt topple the animal that is Samoa Joe? We'll have to find out at Survivor Series. The second of our world title collisions is of course between the champion Rusev and the challenger, the ever-confident Austin Aries. Aries made his debut on Raw just weeks ago and has wasted no time targeting the champion. And his antics have paid off, as it has granted him the opportunity at a world title shot just a month into his tenure on the Red brand. Aries has claimed that he is the greatest and smartest man that ever lived, and has vowed that he will be the first man to topple the Bulgarian Brute for the world title since he won that belt all those many months ago. The fact that the champion, Rusev, was the one who made the challenge and not the other way around would suggest that Aries might just be under the skin of the monster, but we'll find out to what extent at the pay-per-view. And now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, on to the main event of the evening, and arguably the most anticipated match of the night, as Monday Night Raw takes on SmackDown Live in a 6-man elimination tag match for the ages. John Cena will team with Tyler Breeze and the newly added member to the team, Colin Cassidy. Cassidy will have extra motivation to get his hands on Team SmackDown, particularly Brock Lesnar, after he laid him out at the close of SmackDown last week. But the most combustible element of this entire match is, without question, the rivalry between Apollo Crews and Brock Lesnar. Neither of these men are a fan of each other, and the entire fate of SmackDown Live's victories hinges on these two megastars being able to coexist. Of course, as we already know, the winning team in this match will then face off on their respective show in a triple threat match for the number one contendership of their respective brand's world title, and that shot comes at one of the biggest events on the calendar, the Royal Rumble. So the stage is set and the pieces are in place, and this promises to be one of the biggest events in the channel's history. Make sure you have your notifications on so you don't miss a second of this monumental event. And as always, for Murph's YT13, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at Survivor Series.